Hello everyone, Marcus here, and today we're going to be doing an impression video of Sword Art Online 2, Episode 6, Duel in the Wastelands. Let's get this started. Overall, I liked the episode. It gave us plenty of context and really had plenty of awesome action in order to keep us interested throughout the whole way. I kind of like how they left the story a little bit more subtle this time, since really all we got that was more direct was a few conversations, with the rest of it being told a little bit more through the characters', well, persona and demeanor throughout the entire episode. Kirito, at the beginning of the episode, is undergoing a bit of an interrogation by Deathgun, whereby Deathgun wants to know, are you the real Kirito? This gives a hint that Deathgun was involved in SAO, which is only further confirmed when he notices that Deathgun has a laughing coffin insignia on the bottom of his wrist. This terrifies Kirito and gets him in a brutally bad mood throughout the entire episode. It gave us a bit more context to Kirito's relationship with Laughing Coffin. Aside from episode 5, which we got to see last season, whereby he chased them off, we also know that he technically killed one of their members directly, thanks to his involvement with Asuna, whereby he had to kill Credio, who was insane and obsessive over that fact. Anyhow, we get a little bit more insight in this respect, because we see a situation whereby a bunch of high-level frontline players from some pretty high-level guilds like Climax Guild, I think the Merchants Guild, the Knights of Blood, Kirito, and a few other players are basically just storming into some area that looks a bit like a hideout in some respects, although it also reminds me a bit of the higher floors. But anyhow, the idea is, while they're there, they appear to be hunting for Laughing Coffin, an infamous murder guild that is responsible for the death of many players in the story. During the scenario, though, they get ambushed, since it appears that their plan was leaked out ahead of time. This results in quite a few casualties on both sides. The Laughing Coffin lost roughly 20 members, 2 of which were killed by Kirito's own sword, and apparently the frontliners also lost, I think, 10 or so people. It was a pretty brutal battle, and apparently not everyone came out there mentally okay afterwards. Especially Kirito, as I would seem. Throughout the rest of the episode, he is just completely and utterly out of it. I mean, Kirito's mortification only really amplifies and kind of complicates his relationship with Chignon in a bit. Chignon, after returning from her own battle, saw Kirito in a completely panicked, terrified state, and kind of naturally assumed, hey, it's just a game, man. How are you so out of it and it's just your first match? You're gonna lose. But she didn't really realize his context until a little bit later, whereby she starts to see a bit of herself, in a way, in his expressions. She starts to wonder, is this guy somebody else who has gone through the kind of pain I have? Which is only further cemented in the episode's climax, whereby we get to see a duel between Chignon and Kirito. During the match, Kirito just basically approaches forward with Chignon with basically no intent to fight at all, since he says, this match doesn't matter, it's not like I'm going to win or it's going to be irrelevant, since really it isn't all that relevant in terms of what he needs to win the tournament, since he already qualified just by entering into the semifinals. Which enrages Chignon, since she starts to think, come on, this is a little bit more serious than you're realizing, stop treating it like it's nothing, you have no idea how I feel about the matter, which we can kind of see since in previous episodes we've known that she takes the game rather seriously. And in a way, Kirito should probably be taking it more seriously, which he himself takes a note to. I mean, he's kind of had to learn this lesson twice now, the first time during SAO, and the second time during ALO, but 3 times I guess is the charm, right? Anyhow, Kirito proposes to make right on the situation by offering a duel. He'll toss up a bullet while they're away from each other from 10 meters, and whoever manages to KO the other one wins. Chignon has the advantage because her Hecate is basically 100% accurate at that distance, but Kirito apparently predicts where the bullet will go without system assistance, and cuts it in half, allowing him to gain the distance to approach Chignon and take victory. In the end, after cutting the bullet, he's right there up and close with Chignon, grasping her down and telling her to submit. Wow, that does not sound right. But anyhow, apparently they just take a quick moment to ship this whole situation, and get Kirito a little bit closer to Chignon by having him explain a bit of his perspective on the matter, which gets her a lot more invested in him in a way. Well, after asking her to submit and she does so, we get to see the responses from a bunch of the crowd, which honestly they should be a little bit surprised since a noob has basically just come up and taken out one of the highest level players or most efficient players in the game that had a pretty impressive streak, since Chigno's actually relatively well known as the Icy Sniper, was it? But anyhow, the episode ends and we get to see a little bit of Death Gun and her friend Kyoji out there in the audience, not looking too enthused, I'd say. Well, other side, everyone, it was a pretty decent episode. I mean, it wasn't the greatest episode I've ever seen of an anime ever, but it was plenty of fun. So, give it a watch. Check it out on Crunchyroll, and I would suggest Daisuke, but it seems that they're taking down some of the older episodes that they post. So, do check out their actual website if you want to get some stuff. It's daisuke.net or crunchyroll.com for those of you out there. Help support the anime industry since they're pretty official websites. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching this episode. And just before I go, I want to make a quick announcement. I've gotten my Oculus Rift shipped already. It's coming in and it should be here by around Tuesday. So expect a video on that as soon as it comes in. If you have any suggestions on stuff you might want me to do, just leave them down below in the comments and I'll try to see what I can do about it. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching. This has been Marcus Dahl, logging out.